Ha mi dulgurach dirach ina bhainit gus an tíoc dinsteach san sin fit sin táiseach teang. Well a char sin ha chama géin táiseach ba bhfuil an fáilte chu réidir chu duine chun an session beo ac in noch mun na cuasa Gàidhlig agus Conaltradh. Ha mi dul dhéir a fanal díadach ísio gaibh có iad táiseach leachtain Tim.
Fescabas, mi sé Tim Armstrong, agus ha mi na mór tíche agus ha mi an ceann na chuirsa ag Sabhal Mòr Ostaig agus ha mi cúte genú ránsa chuig seo agus ha mi bhó Seattle an sa stáin a hús a cha mé se fu a chansanel an scíanach.
Thank Bór agus Anna Hugapé.
Hello, is me Anna agus hain a flot crí ar an Ian scíanach chami agus ha mi nam olnach ar I cheadh bliana ag Sabhal Mòr.
Tá flacht agus Sheena.
Hi, is me Sheena agus teacher ciúla hanam. Raim mi Gàidhlig is Conaltradh an nuí agus mi fuach an níl an scéanach a chamias an díal an dú feisgur an níis.
Tá agus Tharla.
Smis áile agus sama Glasgow hami raim mi chuirsa daflin arás ach inis ha mi chuirsa TV agus a mi fuach inis arás an in Glasgow.
Thank Bór. I'm going to switch to English now, just in case there's anyone watching this who doesn't speak Gaelic yet but would like to improve their Gaelic skills and eventually come on this course, who knows. So I'd like to just ask Tim to give us a brief introduction to the course, and we'll share some slides as well about the course.
Excellent. Thank you, Ellen. Well, Gaelic is Conaltradh, Gaelic and Communication course is a course that is aimed at people who are reasonably fluent in Gaelic already. Many of the people on our course have come through Gaelic medium education, either just out of high school or some have then gone on to university and come back. Others have learned Gaelic by other pathways, but everyone on the course is reasonably fluent in the language, but they're aiming on bringing their Gaelic to the highest possible level. And that's our aim on the course as well. You know, whether it's folk who come for just 1 year or taking a career break or maybe a gap year in Gaelic, or if it's people out of high school and maybe you would like to do a degree at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, then our aim in the course for everybody involved is at the end of the year, they have an expert level of Gaelic in the 4 Gaelic skills, that they are fully competent in speaking, reading, and writing Gaelic at all levels, at the highest possible level. And we do that in a number of different ways. In the first instance, it is an intensive immersion course. And it's an immersion course in the sense that everything we do at the college is in Gaelic, and I'll speak a little bit more about that in a moment. But it's also an intensive course. It's a course with up to 20 hours of contact time each week in Gaelic, and aiming almost entirely on language acquisition. So that over the course of the 8 months that a student is at the college, they do an enormous amount of work on the Gaelic language itself. And it's also, as I said, an immersion course. And that means something special at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig. It's immersion in the classroom, certainly. We speak Gaelic in all our classes. But even more than that, we aim at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig to create a Gaelic-speaking scholarly community at the college itself, and that students have the opportunity, if they wish, to use Gaelic in almost every situation at the college, inside and outside of classes. And through that process of doing a lot of work in the classroom and then using Gaelic as your daily language as you go through your socialize and do everything you do at university, people come out year after year, after those 8 months, very, very fluent in Gaelic, speaking it completely confidently, but also reading and writing it with confidence, and at all levels. We work on Gaelic at just kind of a street Gaelic level, and being able to speak confidently when you're talking with friends or family. But we look at other registers of the language as well. We work on Gaelic at higher levels so that you can understand technical things written in Gaelic, or you can speak authoritatively in Gaelic in formal situations. So over the course of the year, we hope that if you come to class and you speak Gaelic outside of class, we have every reason to believe that at the end of the year, you have reached a very, very high level of fluency through the course. And I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, Ellen.
Thank you, Tim. That was really useful. I think what we'll do now is we'll have a brief poll. Well, I was going to do a poll, but actually no, we'll do the promo video. For those of you who've never been to Slate before, or campus, this is just a quick 2.5 minute video showing you what great fun it is. So here it is. Thank you. I hope that everyone's connection was stable enough there. Mine is a bit weak, but hopefully you caught all of that video. I'd just like to open up to the panel now. We'll shut down the presentation and just hear a bit from all of our panelists about their experience on the course. With yourself, Sheena, if you'd like to tell us a bit about what brought you to the course in the first place.
Sorry, was it Anna or Sheena? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Sheena, apologies, my connection's not great.
No, it's fine. So I've been working as a music teacher since 2013, and I worked as a music teacher in Portree High School since 2015. And I'd done some Gaelic before I moved to Skye, but not really anything formally. So when I moved to Skye and started speaking to teachers in the high school and talking to them in the staff room, half the staff room were speaking in Gaelic and half were speaking in English. So I started speaking to people in Gaelic a little bit, or at least trying to understand their conversations a little bit. And eventually, during the first year of lockdown, I did my higher Gaelic through the high school. So I was going to Gaelic classes at the high school in my free periods. And then I did the rest of the higher Gaelic when we were still in lockdown. And then the year after that, I decided to take a sabbatical and to go and do the Gaelic as Culture class at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, which really brought my Gaelic on much more than much faster and much better than I would have been able to do it, I think, myself during work. So that was really good for me. And then now I'm back teaching music again, but now I teach music through the medium of Gaelic. So it's been really good for me just to go from the stage of being, I guess, like a good learner to somebody that I could say was like a fluent speaker. Although I'm still working on it for sure. It took me from like being sort of in the outside of Gaelic conversations to being able to jump into speaking in Gaelic with people without feeling sort of embarrassed about my level of Gaelic, or without feeling that wasn't good enough to do that. And also with teaching, definitely gave me the confidence to go back and start teaching in Gaelic. So yeah.
And how about, as well as the course, how did you find the sort of immersive environment at the college itself helped you bring on your language skills?
So it was slightly different for me in a way because I wasn't staying at the college. So I live out in Skye anyway, so I was going down every day. I would stay on a Monday night, and that was really good because they had a Monday night sort of coffee and cake and chat class, which was really good. I used to go to that. But actually, even just going down and not staying overnight, in the class that we were in, we all just spoke Gaelic to each other all day. So if we had like a morning class and then we had a morning break, we'd all go down to the coffee shop and have a coffee and a scone and speak Gaelic during the break, and same as lunchtime. So although I guess in the evenings I wasn't speaking Gaelic, I did feel like it was still quite intense immersion, even just from during like sort of school hours, like from like 9 till 3 or 4 every day. It was speaking Gaelic, which was good. And then obviously I listened to Radio on Gael when I was in the car, so that helped as well. But yeah, and I think I would say even just thinking about the times that you're in class, or the times that you're in sort of like daytime learning, there's a lot of immersion that goes on then, which is really useful. Just that you start speaking Gaelic when you turn up, and then you don't stop until you go home again. So
very good. And I'll maybe bring in Sorley here as well. Do you want to tell us a bit about how you came to do this course and how it's propelled you on to more things now?
Yeah, definitely. So I did the course 2 years ago now, and it was like the first COVID starters. So like we started in COVID, which was a bit rubbish, but like the course is brilliant. The class was great, and it was a really good, nice kind of feel to the class. Quite a lot of us were straight from high school, so we hadn't done anything before. So it was quite a young class, but it was like it was really nice, and I had a lot of friends in that class, and most of them were my flatmates. So we were definitely chatting away in the class a lot. I did the course, and I wasn't actually wanting to do the course at the start. I have to say, Tim, sorry, but I was not keen to do the course because I had heard that there was like reading and essays involved and stuff, which there is, but it's definitely a positive thing that I had to do that, because while going into the course, I'd gone straight from high school where I did Gaelic medium education, so I was in a fluent Gaelic class, but I felt like I hadn't learned like proper grammar rules, or my reading wasn't too strong because we didn't have to do that much reading on the course, and it was really like at a level where I wasn't happy. So I wasn't comfortable speaking in like a conversational kind of way to like more fluent speakers than me. So this course kind of propelled me forward to have that confidence and like I actually be able to converse with anyone really that I want to in Gaelic, which is great, and it's definitely given me that confidence to use my Gaelic in the wider world. And I've now moved on to the Gaelic media course at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, and I did my first year of that last year. It's a diploma, so there's 2 years. I'm on my placement year this year, and the amount of opportunities I've got since my Gaelic has improved, and I've now got like skills in terms of grammar and TV. I've had many opportunities, and I'm now presenting on the radio and doing lots of social media stuff. So yeah, if it wasn't for the Conaltradh course, I definitely wouldn't have my Gaelic at a level where I would be able to do all of this. So yeah, it's definitely a great course, and the content's good. As much as if you don't like reading, it's still great to help your Gaelic and really just improve it to a level where you are comfortable.
Thanks, Orly. Anna, do you want to tell us a bit about how you came to do the course and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Gaelic speaking community. So I've been speaking Gaelic since I can remember. But I felt I didn't have the writing skills and as Sorley said, the grammatical knowledge. I did Gaelic through the whole of primary school and high school, right up to advanced higher, but I'd never quite learned why I was writing what I was writing and the rules behind it all. So that's like the main thing that I wanted to work on when I went onto the course. But I think when I went on, I actually learned so much more. So I was kind of expecting just to, leave being, good at writing, have the same sort of level of speaking and reading and all that. But I think I didn't actually notice how much I still had to learn before I went on. So I think it helped me a lot just in my confidence in writing, and even with speaking. I had spoken a lot of Gaelic at home and in the community, but not really very much to sort of people my own age. There wasn't a lot of people my age growing up that would be willing to have a sort of Gaelic conversation with me. So I think it was really nice to sort of get that Gaelic community and a chance to hear different people from, different backgrounds around Scotland who were willing to speak Gaelic to me, and just to know there was like a younger Gaelic community out there as well was definitely a big confidence boost going ahead. I'm wanting to be a teacher, so I'm still at Sabhal Mòr, now in 4th year doing the teaching course, and I think a lot of the skills that I've picked up from Gaelic as Conaltradh I'm still using today. I still catch myself sometimes going back to my notes that I've got from 1st year, if I'm stuck on a wee grammar case or anything like that. So I think it's definitely been such a huge boost to my language skills, my confidence, and just sort of getting involved in a Gaelic community of younger people my own age. So really recommend it for that sort of thing as well.
Thanks, Anna. And had you expected to stay for as long as you have at Sabhal Mòr, or did we just not let you go?
Well, I did. I always knew I was wanting to do teaching. I just wasn't sure how I wanted to go about doing it. But I think my plan was to definitely do 1st year at Sabhal Mòr, just to get my Gaelic up to a level I felt comfortable for teaching. And I did think maybe I would go away after that and do it somewhere else. But no, I stayed on because there's no other teaching course that will let you sort of use Gaelic the whole way through and do the whole thing through the medium of Gaelic. So I thought it was a bit of a no-brainer after 1st year that I just stay on.
Mm-hmm. And Sheena, how have you found, do you find that you refer back to your notes that you had in Tim's class now that you're back in the world of work?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely things that I think now that I'm like when I'm writing up a PowerPoint for school, or I'm doing something that's sort of like important for the classroom that's written down that's going to be stuck there forever, I quite often look back to see, like, I don't know, things like the other day I was looking up, I was wanting to write down something about like how instruments are used, and then I was thinking about the passive voice, and I was like, I go back to my notes to find out all the different ways of doing the passive voice so I can get this right for my class. So yeah, no, I definitely that's really helpful. But I think that's the thing, it's like a really good balance of two elements. There's like the element where you learn how to speak to people well and be confident just to actually speak without worrying about grammar, but at the same time you do have all of that information written down somewhere and in the back of your brain somewhere to call on if you need it. So it's not like you're not just doing grammar, you're learning how to speak fluently as well, but you have all the backup grammar there, like for occasions when it's really important. So yeah.
Tim, do you want to tell us a bit about the modules then? There's been a lot of discussion about reading tonight, so it'd be quite good to hear about, I know there's various novels that are on suggested reading lists and these sorts of things. It might be quite interesting for folk to hear about those.
Certainly. Well, we base a lot of what we do in the class around 7 adult Gaelic novels that we go throughout the year, and we use the novels in a lot of different ways. In the first instance, we just use the novels as an opportunity to have a seminar-style literature class, like you would have in any university, and just talking about the novels as novels and seeing what people think about them and using it as an opportunity just to kind of be speaking informally, but at a slightly higher register because we're talking about literature. We also use the novels as a way to think about grammar. We'll take points that we've been looking at kind of in an analytical way in the class, and we'll then look at them in use and how did different authors use these different grammar points and at different registers as well, different levels of formalness. How are these different grammar points used in different ways? We do a lot of work on vocabulary for people who are kind of pretty fluent. One of the most important ways to get really, really fluent is to just learn a lot of vocabulary. So we use the novels as a way to go over a lot of vocabulary, and the students learn about 2,000 new words through the course of the year, which adds a lot to their kind of the strength of their Gaelic, that they can speak about a lot more things because they have a very broad vocabulary after the course. And then also we use the novels as a way just to think about Gaelic. All of the novels are about folk who are using Gaelic in the 20th and the 21st century, and to kind of think about how Gaelic works in this world, and in a situation where Gaelic is a threatened language and where it's often not always easy to use Gaelic in the world, and how people approach that problem. And so we use the novels in that respect as well.
Very good. And I'd like to hear a bit from others as well about the social aspect of living in Slate. It might be a surprise to folk. We've done a couple of these sessions now, and people have said that they thought moving to Slate, they'd have a very quiet existence and it'd be nothing like the big city. So it'd be good to hear your experience, Sorley, coming from Sabhal Mòr Ostaig. You came from Glasgow up to Slate. Did you have any worries before moving up there, or
yeah, to be fair, I
and
did.
how did that compare?
Yeah, I did have a few worries before I came up, but I mean, I had heard like that it was good fun, and people did still like go out and everything. But I don't know, there's some sort of image in people's heads that like people who go to Small don't go out. You know, I don't know like why, but I had the same thought. But I mean, I could say that's not true. From my first year, definitely, even though we were stuck in COVID, I was definitely having a much better time than everyone else down in Glasgow. So we were living it up because we had a wee bit more kind of relaxed rules and stuff in my first year than everyone else in first year down in Glasgow. So yeah, it was a great kind of community as well, because we got to know each other so well, and yeah, we definitely might have been a bit doing a bit too much drinking sometimes, but it was great. It was great fun, and we had a lot of like games nights and everything. And like other than like drinking, there's like lots of social things to do. like during the days in Skye because it's such a beautiful place. Like there's a beach literally like 5 minutes away from the college, so of an afternoon or after class, or depending on what time of year it was, we would go to the beach and we'd go for a swim. We did a lot of that last year because there was quite a few keen swimmers, and like they all had proper wetsuits, so there was a lot of swimming last year, and it was great fun because we all kind of came together as a whole college. Really, most people were down at the beach some days and swimming, and it was blooming freezing, but it was good fun. We were all freezing together, and even then there was other things you could do. Like I'm a really clean hill walker, so Skye is the place to be if you're a keen hill walker. If you want to tick off the Monroes, you sure can on Skye, and even you can go off the island, and it's not too far to some other hills. I've done them all now in Skye except from one of them. So I've been.
Which is the one you haven't done?
CertHE Mòr, I think it is. I managed to tick off the Inaccessible Pinnacle because, I know a guy. So I think this is just the things that happen in the Gaelic community. If any of you know Cynnych Mac Rang, I ended up chatting to him on Instagram, and he said, "Oh, I'm in Skye. Do you want to jump up the in pin tonight?" And yeah, we did. We went up for sunset. So that was one of the best experiences I think I've had at uni, definitely.
Wow.
But other than being taken up the hills, there was a group of us each weekend in the first year. I think from the first weekend really till maybe mid-November, start of November. We were doing hills each weekend, and then unfortunately I had to go back. We had to go back to our homes in the new year of 2021, but because of COVID. But yeah, I mean, it was a great time, like doing the hills then, and even last year we got a few in, but not as many as we did the year before. I think because there was more people like at Small, and we were allowed to be out more, so we were more hungover the next morning than we couldn't actually get out of our beds. So yeah, it was. I'm just being very honest on here because I'm sure a lot of the young ones watching might want to hear stuff like that to ensure that it's fun. So yeah, no, there's lots to do, and great community of people, and it's, I mean, the flat. If you've got a good flat, you're sorted for just chapping on people's doors and asking if they want to do something.
Well, it's interesting you say young ones, because I think it's an interesting point to bring in about demographics. We quite often get questions from applicants about what sort of folk are in the Sulmore community, and it's very varied, isn't it, Tim? You have retirees and folk who are doing a gap year or a career break like Sheena was doing. Could you tell us a bit about the community and how diverse it is?
Yeah, without question. And even this year we have, this is a little bit of a younger year. Most of the folk in the class are coming right out of high school, but we also have, one student who is in his 60s and doing great. And so we have a very broad range of people at the college in general and in Gaelic as Conaltradh. And so you say there's kind of three broad groups that come to the course. There are folk who are just finishing high school. They've done Gaelic medium education and they're going on to university, and they want to do a degree probably at Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, and so they start in Gaelic as Conaltradh. Then there's a fairly large group each year who come often from other universities, either before they go to university or as they're in university, they'll take a gap year out. Or this year we have someone who came after she finished her degree at Aberdeen University, and they take essentially a Gaelic gap year. They want to improve they're doing some other degree somewhere else, but they want to improve their Gaelic for a year. And then finally, like Sheena and also like the gentleman who is studying this year, we have people who take a career break and take a year out 8 months out to work on their Gaelic for a number of different reasons. Sometimes it's just for personal improvement. I think the gentleman who we have this year, he's retired, and this is just something he's always wanted to do. Other people have more of a career aim for why they're for why they've come back. And in fact, I think, Sheena, in your year, there was at least 3 who were taking a year out and had kind of a career focus too about it. They wanted to improve their Gaelic for their own sake, but they're also thinking about what they might do with Gaelic in their jobs as well after they were done with the course. So it is definitely very varied, and that's great for the course because we get a lot of different perspectives. We get people who are young and just out of school, and then through all stages in life, and it makes the conversations and what we do in class very lively and fun.
So even if you're not planning a career in Gaelic, you could very well be finishing school and deciding, right, I'm not ready to join the world of work. I want to be a joiner, but I went through Gaelic medium education and I just want to get my language skills to a level where I'm really comfortable with, like Sorley was saying. So it could almost be just like a finishing school for someone like that.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, in the world we're in, a lot of people feel for a lot of different reasons that there's areas of their Gaelic that they want to work on. And it's different for different people. Some people really want to work on feel that they're pretty confident speaking, but have questions about their writing and reading abilities. For others, they feel kind of academically confident in Gaelic, but maybe don't feel super comfortable just speaking it. And the course goes through all aspects of Gaelic so that we hit everybody's kind of area. No matter what you want to do with Gaelic, we do a little bit, or actually a lot of that. We do a lot of everything. We make sure we hit all those aspects of the Gaelic language. We do everything from pronunciation up to right through grammar and vocabulary and higher level registers and the whole thing.
Very good. And Anna, just coming to you, coming from the north end of Skye, what was it like making the big move to the south? I'm presuming that you stayed at the college.
Yeah, I did stay at the college. I had quite a few friends that were saying to me, oh, what on earth are you doing going to that side of the island? It's a wee bit of island wars going on there. But it was actually very nice. I'd not spent much time actually in Slate before, to be honest. It's probably one of the parts of the island that I knew the least before I went there. And I did have a couple of friends and things there already, so that was nice. But it was actually just a shock to me how different it was from the North End. But I think just because, there's so many other students there, it kind of just sort of creates like a really nice community. And then I was kind of expecting myself not to have much going on. I'm not sure, as Sorley said, why there's just this sort of idea that people at Smo don't do anything, but I was quite pleasantly surprised to find out there's always things going on. There's the EI and Ardvassar close by for a wee night out, so spent quite a lot of my first year in the EI, I must say. And there's always things going on at the Tala at Sabhal Mòr itself, so there's not even any need to go too far away to have a wee good night. And even just sort of getting to know your flatmates and stuff like that, have a wee party in your flat. And I think the community is just really nice and like tight knit. So I think no matter where you're coming from, you'll find yourself a nice group of friends, and I think you'll be able to sort of make a good time for yourself, definitely.
And Sheena, what about yourself? So you were commuting from the north end of Skye. That is doable for anyone who perhaps doesn't want to stay on campus, although we very much recommend it. You were also able to commute from just near Portree as well.
Yeah, sure. So I used to travel every day, except I would stay in the Winchester on Monday nights because we had quite a long day on a Monday. A few people in the course did that. There's a couple of folk that stayed in Tarskavig on the course, and another that stayed just up at Camas Cross. So there was a few folk, I guess the older folk would be in our class. A few of us didn't stay on campus, but we still sort of saw each other outside of like class as well. We'd arranged to go for walks or meet up at weekends or whatever. So there was still a social life, maybe not quite as lively as the younger folk had.
And how about the application process? We get a lot of people asking, what's it like? When does do I need to write my application in English or Gaelic? What's the interview process like? Tim, do you want to give us a bit of detail about that?
Certainly. And we welcome applications in both English and Gaelic. If you do feel confident writing in Gaelic, that's excellent. That gives us another way to kind of look at your Gaelic and think about what course would be appropriate. We also have an interview process, and that interview isn't so much about who gets in or doesn't, because that's much more based on what's on your application. And for those of you who are coming just out of school, do you have the right number of hires and so forth? The interview is more a question of what's the right course for you when you come, because we have two courses in the first year that are very similar to each other. We have Gàidhlig is Conaltradh, which is this course, and also in Conaltradh. And they're almost identical in a lot of ways. They're both intensive immersion courses, but they just run at slightly different levels. Gàidhlig is Conaltradh is pitched to people who are already reasonably fluent. And then in Conaltradh, it's pitched at more intermediate learners. And so in these interviews, it's more a question of what course would be appropriate, rather worrying about, am I getting into Sabhal Mòr Ostaig or not? That's not the point of the interviews at all. And it's also just a chance for us to chat, and if you have any further questions, to talk about those as well. So I try to, I hope people don't get nervous about the interview, because it's not an interview to get in. It's more a question of what's the right course.
And we've had a question as well about distance learning. We run various online courses, and Cuasa Iontaigh and in Cuasa Ostaig, and it would be interesting to hear how those courses tie up with your course. Of course, there's a huge number of people who've started their learning journey on Duolingo, and it'd be interesting to hear how those can connect up with your course, Tim.
Well, certainly our one of our pathways in the Sabhal Mòr Ostaig that is very popular, our largest course, is in Cuasa Iontaigh, and that starts from zero and brings people to a relatively intermediate level. That's all online and can be done in two different streams, can be done at a regular pace, and they also have an accelerated stream. And from that course, with an interview, you can go on and come to the campus and do in Conaltradh. Then, however, you could also continue and do in Conaltradh, also as a distance course. So in Conaltradh and in Conaltradh kind of sit at the same level, but one is a distance course in Conaltradh, and in Conaltradh is on the campus. Then after in Conaltradh, we've had people at the end of that course come on Gàidhlig is Conaltradh and continue on the course. We have someone who did that this year, who did in Cuasa Iontaigh and Conaltradh as distance courses, and then came to Gàidhlig is Conaltradh. So there's different distance pathways to get into Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, definitely.
And in terms of once you've done the course, as we were saying, it can be a standalone course. You can go back to your respective careers, as Sheena's done, or there's various degrees that you can move on to, or diplomas. Can you tell us about that?
So Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, so Gàidhlig is Conaltradh sits as itself as a standalone course, as many people do that just for 1 year. But also the two courses, Gàidhlig is Conaltradh and Conaltradh, also serve as the first year of our degree programs. So anyone who's coming to do a BA or a BA with honors level degree, they will do either Gàidhlig is Conaltradh or in Conaltradh is the first year of that. And they'll also have some electives in one, or in some cases two electives in their degree subject as well. And then in the second, third, and fourth year, the more subject-oriented parts of their degrees start in earnest. There's still Gaelic components of the second, third, and fourth year of our degrees at the college too, but it kind of switches focus. It's very much about Gaelic in the first year, but then it kind of gets more about the subjects in the second year. And so we have a degree, we have a teaching degree, which Anna is doing just now. And that's very popular and that's growing rapidly. And it's as Anna said, it's a way to do a degree in teaching entirely through the medium of Gaelic. So that's a very rare opportunity. We also have just a degree that I did many years ago in Gaelic language and culture, both at the level of regular and honors. And then we have a degree in Gaelic and traditional music, which is very popular, both at regular level and at honors. And we have a degree in Gaelic and development, although I think that degree, we'll have to talk about that. If you're interested in that, talk to me about that. I think that degree may be blended in as a specialty in the Gaelic and culture degree going forward. But we have that degree as well. And then we also have the degree that CertHE is doing just now, and that is the Gaelic, the DipHE in Gaelic media. And maybe it would be better, Ellen, to have CertHE actually explain something about that degree, about that, that program.
Yeah,
Sure, Carla.
yeah, I've heard. So the Gaelic Media Diploma, it's like it's a 2-year course, and basically you kind of just start from like the basics of media. And I mean, it's great to have a bit of experience before you get in the course, but I don't think you actually need to. There's an application process, but it's basically you write a wee bit and then you send it away, and then you do an interview with Katrina, who is the leader of the course. But I did the Conaltradh first, so I just went straight onto the interview, and then she decided who got in the course. But it's a really great media course. It's, I think, probably the best that you actually can get, Gaelic or English. It's so immersive, and you've got so much kit that you can use. You can use it freely. You've got access to the kit 24/7. Cameras, mics, tripods. We've even got a podcast machine now, and it's a really really good course for if you want to work in the media. I learned I had a wee bit of experience with like doing my own like GoPro videos beforehand, but other than that, I had nothing, and now I can make a decent 5-minute documentary, which was the project that I did at the end of last year. So yeah, it's really a helpful course if you're wanting to get the basics of each kind of part of media. So like creating a documentary, like the planning process of it, the coordination process of it, like all the health and safety stuff as well is incorporated into that, and then actually getting a camera out and filming it, and interview techniques and editing it, and all this post-production stuff that like really I can't really get into because there's so much to do. You get all that done by media professionals, and Katrina herself, who has worked in the media for many years. I'm now doing my placement at a Gaelic media company in Glasgow, so that just gives you like even more experience. And after this year, I'll graduate and either get kept on by this job or be looking for another job. But the media course has definitely given me so many opportunities and so much experience that like if I hadn't done it, I would never get on any other media course. Definitely not like English media courses. I've spoken to a few of my friends, and like they just don't get the same level of experience or connections, because the Gaelic media world is, I mean, it is small, but it's also big, and in the way that there's so many different people with different skills and that. So you get to know someone with a different skill and everything, and everyone's so nice. So yeah, so we get an opportunity after an opportunity. So definitely a course that I would recommend to anyone that has got any sort of interest in media, because it'll get you places and it'll get you jobs.
And it's a 10-month placement you get, and the latest figure we have is an 80% employment rate. If that's your goal, if your goal is to go on and work in the industry, there's a high chance that you'll be able to get a job if you're successful in the course. So thanks for that, Sorley. I think we'll go on now, and actually this is a video that Sorley himself features in. We're going to show a tour of the campus because we get asked a lot about what it's like. So we're just going to show that video, and then if we have any more questions, we'll address those and wrap the session up.
Seo Sabhal Mòr Ostaig in tinit náisiúnta son canan agus cultúr na Gàidhlig. Fáilte don dach úrachad. Chai Sabhal Mòr Ostaig is steigh an an 1973. Is sin natjas an tuil for an chase de vokig is na kursganakit trovian na Gàidhlig a bhain. Bydanya chinhuking as emig charni gentil is an Gàidhlig a Júnskuch. Etter kursgan de luch Júnski agus Ramsku PhD. En dachuch eden larach agus edaster. Lanunje agus parsunje. Harutigan aan dan huladunje. Jo kursgan ik ieder volgeem agus iergeem en show. Ounce na mean and Gaelic, film, Kjol tradition to agus emigrant eile. Agus could joke bishing a kurskan garage fat na bliana. Mahashu Ramsku Yanu is Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, bishu Yoloch in Lamark Hasho, show aku in Pur, Ungen Hashkin Furig Aking, ik Sabhal Mòr Ostaig. Animal is een Kjol is crack. Kan je aardje een sharam voor zijn party? Ach, wie vegelig, shaster vatte hangen de waan. Show akke, de show ik het heen. Ik heb een straf. Aanskag shomer, ha. Leppie, desk, schelpien, pres, agus. Tijvik, lefras, spatchel. Gach seachgan hi kuchgan chéliors gus do chiomar a glánig agus kuchoch jo uitach lepe agus sedif den ure. Ach, fémi tún op a chrúi a janu hu heen. Ach, chaviu kos kus unie na chiomar. Seo a chetchin far a viu mesgig leis do char a ure. En in het foutje. Farin chich foutje chríolors gus Sabhal Mòr Ostaig. In breinin toklo seo ha Jorlaun, Hallan Mór, a Chantine, Classigan, agus hírach with an eile. In rid Jeffreyche mi yn ihe ik yn tol, sé gymysni gihe mar tjölach. Ach seo, sé tjírach mi heen halen. Seo tan an feise lórach in na Hollanich ag am na ddíochanin. Múra héal cárachid ná gab drug ha bú acin éan lárach leis a thula cála imstú. Is it, na rutin bunasach. Cúteach ma ha lórach present ag a bhenit me dheirich. Ha tá rutin am. We gaan je veel meer over. Ach, en is, ben Aatje, is Charlotte. Seo for de visse voorgoedje en tachtsen a gal Aatje, aan zijn televoor. Bí een bar maris trieke foscootje da hu dus gach shachen is een Hollanich, agus dunje eile aan zijn chorsnach. Kelis, downse, agus kjol, bí krak gelior acu en a hjo. Seo in tuchlach IIN. Eintje tuchlachin as ure in larach. In enemichuch as jay en riedere Ian Nobel. Seo ar a bhí sa fórchuid sin na clásca nacu sa chiad bliana, agus seo far an dóigh meise sa chiad bliana. Well, sin ac dyn. Hi ca chéilion yn sleitio fan cwrw hen iolo sori.
Thank fawr Harla agus a chwlyd ydy ar y fanel. Ha ddynnu gar coed i'r YouTube, cwtgyn a sa chwmeri, agus cwtgyn eile an cwtioch, agus ha sy'n i'r fi ffrigwrs nhw'n ceistyn achsyn sy'n, ach mae'r heil yn cor ceistyn sy'n ymwygol sy'n gylior ar sy'n heich yn och, ciad ta'n gyw filer sy'n fi i'r fanel, ha sy'n gyw fi cwmel session yn eile, and na heich ha session ac in muna PGDE, Postgraduate Diploma in Education, like Gwen nich gwere. Agus ik tosioch na ha flana, bi session ac in leis yn dochter Decker Forest, muna chwrse cwl eikesyn, bi e gaelig agus ciol traditionte. Agus bi session ac in le Katrien en ich een, je wisse sturig een diploma ons namien in Gaelic, a ha sorle e gian madraste. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, Anna, Sheena, Sorna, agus Tim. I was just mentioning there that we're running some other sessions, webinars about our other various courses over the next couple of weeks and months. And if you'd like to find out more about these, please join our newsletter via our website, www.smo.uhi.ac.uk. Kia tainge wile. And we'll hopefully see you all in Sabhal Mòr Ostaig at some point. Cheers, Drasta.